Wow, okay. I do not look great right now. Hello, hi, it's me, Ariana. I have tried to start this vlog many times. I haven't filmed a writing vlog in quite a bit of time. Here's the thing. I also feel like I'm always wearing this shirt in videos. I actually reached 30,000 words in my manuscript. So it's not that I haven't been writing, it's just that I haven't been filming it. I've never reached 30,000 words in a manuscript before. I've always quit before that point. Here is my issue now. I've reached a point in my story where I don't know what's going to happen. Today is going to be hopefully somewhat of a writing day, but a bit of a planning day. Don't want there to just be nothing happening in the middle of this book. Originally, I had planned, because I have a goal tracker word count thing website. That's what it's called. So here's what it looks like. So I have my target goal as 70,000, and I actually made the end date for the goal July 31st. So it basically updates your minimum word count goal based on your progress. I've had a lot of green leading up to reaching 30K this day, which was Wednesday. As you can see yesterday, it's like entering that point in the book where I didn't have much planned, and then today, so far I wrote 207 words, which I think was just me adding to past parts, because I definitely didn't write anything new today. I finished chapter 10 yesterday. Now going into chapter 11, I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Today we are plotting basically from where I left off in my story until the part in the book where I pretty much know what happens. Doing it on paper in a notebook because I think it'll maybe help me. I haven't had much luck doing it brain dump document, so I'm switching to paper and I'm gonna see how that works. Okay, so it's a little bit later. By that I mean like an hour about. What I wound up doing was this sort of chart thing, and I tried to use Brandon Sanderson's plotting method, listing the thread of events that would result in payoff for that specific plot line. One of them I have is the romantic relationship, and then another has to do with a side character who I definitely thought needed more development in this part of the book, because there wasn't much in the first part, because the first part was mostly about another thing. There's a lot of subplots in this book, and I don't know if there are too many. We'll see when other people read it and give me their opinions. It helped me brainstorm a bit, but what actually wound up working for me was calling my boyfriend, kind of just talking it out, because that usually helps me a lot, even if it just means the other person listening to me ramble for however long. Just talking about the plot and what could happen just helps me a lot, and I actually wound up figuring it all out, I think. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I'm a plantser, so I need a general idea, which I think I now have, and I'll still have to wing it to a certain extent, but I had to do that for the first 30,000 words as well. I think I'm satisfied with what I thought of now. I'm just trying to write it down so that I don't forget anything, because like I said, I kind of just rambling and just talking, and then at the end of the phone call realized oh, okay, that's it. I think I have enough to just write it now. That's really awesome. I didn't think I would figure it out that fast. I've been trying to figure it out in my head for quite a long time. I just haven't sat down to direct all of my attention towards it. Now that I did, it kind of all just came together. Yeah, I think I'm going to just finish writing all that down and then maybe take a bit of a break watch a writing vlog or two to get me more in the mood for actual drafting, because I would like to do a good amount of that today. For first drafts, the way that I measure progress the way I measure progress for a first draft isn't word count, it's by progression in the actual story. Because if I think about it in terms of word count, I find myself just writing for the sake of getting words out, and I don't like that because it's usually directionless. I want to get forward in the story today. Hello, it is around 2:30 now, I think. I probably said this before, but I've never finished a manuscript before. The thing that's really been motivating for me this time is I think I'm at the stage now where I am able to produce good enough writing to try and get it traditionally published. Obviously not the first draft. I mean, I don't know how many drafts I'll go through, but eventually. And so a big motivator has just been focusing on that future task of querying, because I think that'll be really exciting. Getting rejections will not be fun, you know, but inevitable, obviously. I'm going to get to writing now because I did my little outline for part 2 for the middle of the book, so I do want to get some words done. Oh, I can show you this too, keeping track of like how many words are in each chapter. As a general rule that I'm sticking to is don't go over 5,000 words in a chapter, and then like 3,000 words is like a sweet spot. Do not plan out chapter by chapter, so it's really just whenever I feel it like ends organically. The thing I am worried about is that my first chapter at this point is 4,243 words, which seems a bit long, not over 5,000, but since it is a YA novel, I'm a little worried about that. But the next chapter is 3,140, which is pretty good in my opinion. It's really interesting because the last book I tried to draft, all of the chapters were super short. Like, I'm talking 2 to 3 pages in my Word document. Anyway, I'm gonna get to writing. I'm excited. I actually really like what I thought of today. I sort of want to put on Phoebe Bridgers' new album, Punisher, while I write, but I'm kind of nervous that it'll like change the tone of my story and make it too sad. I love Phoebe Bridgers. She is my favorite artist, and I actually got her record a few days before release because I pre-ordered it and it came in the mail early, and I was freaking out. I listened to it right there and then. I don't know if listening to it while I'm writing is a good idea. I think I'm going to. If it's not working, then I will turn it off. I mentioned before, I think, that like my story has a lot to do with music. Not this kind of music. Phoebe Bridgers isn't necessarily the same type of music that is mentioned in my story, but look how pretty that is. I feel like the camera does not do it justice. I'm gonna put this on. Baby, it's Halloween, and we can be Good morning. I failed yesterday. I did great. I didn't film anymore, as you saw. I wound up writing 781 words yesterday, which was like half of what I wanted to write, to be honest. I'm not gonna beat myself up for it because it's still a decent amount of words. Right now I'm just making my bed and then I'm gonna go straight to writing. Alright, so we're back. I'm not in the mood to write. I want to have the words down. I don't want to type them. My book has to do with a road trip. I'm struggling because I didn't, like I said, I'm a pantser. So I know every place that they go to or go true, but because I don't actually know exactly when they reach those places, like I've kind of just been Google mapping like how long it takes to get from point A to point B. I'm so confused. Can't even talk about it because the thing I'm dealing with is like a major spoiler, so I can't even explain why I'm having so much difficulty. It's just happening. My word count goal for today is 924. I haven't been reaching the word count goals. Yesterday I was at least in the yellow. The day before I was in the red. Yesterday I was in the yellow. But I was in such a good streak of green. Except for that one red day that I wrote 18 words. My mom's laughing at me, probably, because I am a failure. I don't think music while I'm writing is a good fit with me, which is strange because I used to listen to music when I wrote, when I read. When I was younger, I always had music on, and now I can't concentrate if it's on. I might try some instrumentals because the words are what distracts me. I have a writing instrumentals playlist that is only 3 songs right now. I don't really even remember what these sound like. It's kind of nice. So I'm gonna start writing and see what happens with this instrumental going. Maybe it will put me in the zone. I really want to just like lose myself in the writing. That happened for a little bit yesterday after I wound up writing, and then pause that. I wound up writing, like deleting everything I wrote and then rewriting it, and during that rewrite I like really got into it. So hopefully I don't have to do that again today because it is time consuming to like delete all those words and then rewrite them. I wrote the same thing, but just I wrote it better the second time. I decided to write outside a bit while it was sunny, so here is that. Okay, hello, I'm back inside now. I just ate some grapes. I haven't written that much. Let's check how many words I've written today. Wouldn't be surprised if it's not even 200. I've written 185 words so far today, and they're just coming out so sluggishly. A lot of people are in the scene, and I'm feeling like I can't balance everyone's presence well. This one character especially is kind of just there the whole book, and I can never figure out how to implement her in a way that makes her necessary, but she's super necessary in this part of the book, like eventually in part 2, but I can't just have her only be important during that part and those scenes, so I don't know. Okay, hello. My daily word count just keeps going up. Today it is 942 words. I don't know how many words I have written. It's currently Father's Day, so I've been busy for most of the day. I've written 427 words, so I'm still in the red. I'd probably have to get into like the 800s to be in even the yellow at this point. Total word count is 31,823. So I'm gonna get to 32k today. I was supposed to get to it like 2 days ago. I think I mentioned in one of my previous clips that I was having an issue with the scene I was in. I changed it. I changed the scene a bit, and it's working so much better now. I'm going to write now for a bit, and let's see if I can hit 32k. I hit 32k. Had to log this. Okay, 625 words today, still in the red. I think I'm going to finish up this little bit I got going on. I'm literally in the middle of a sentence. Maybe eat a little dinner and then maybe watch some TV with my mom. I'm making her watch Never Have I Ever on Netflix. I've already seen it once, but I'm watching it again with her. Still in chapter 11. I will check in with you in a bit. Hello, it is like 2 days later and I look like a wet dog. Also, I'm very greasy looking right now because I just moisturized. I just took a shower and like did the skin stuff. So it's the first time on camera looking absolutely appalling. Also, more Phoebe Bridgers content because that's what we like to see. Here's the sitch. I spent the whole day not writing. Don't even remember what I did do instead of write. Couldn't tell you. Currently I'm at 32,206 words. Yesterday I wrote no words. Did I write words yesterday? Yesterday I wrote 78 words. I think that's pretty good. That's probably a new record. My current word goal for today is 970. It's currently 8:27 p.m. I wrote 441 words, which not 1,000, but I'm getting kind of tired. I'm sorry that I'm talking quietly. My parents are like right there, so I'm like self-conscious. I don't know if I want to write more right now or just sleep. Start early tomorrow morning. Just read until I fall asleep because I'm getting tired with the writing. But I am happy that I did get writing done today because I thought that I would just get nothing done at all. Good morning. I just got back from my walk and it's time to start writing. I'm gonna hit 33K today, definitely, because I only have like 500 words until that, and I want to write 1,000 words today. I forgot to log my last chapter word count. Yesterday I finished chapter 11 and it came out to 1,702 words, so I wasn't sure about where to end the last one. What I'm writing so far in chapter 12 could have easily been a continuation of chapter 11, but I was afraid that after I wrote what I wanted to in chapter 12, it would be too long. But I mean, that's just easy fix in editing if I feel like this information should be in the previous chapter. Literally left off in the middle of a scene last night, so I'm gonna finish that off today. Hello, it's a lot later. Here's what happened. I wrote 312 words all day. It is currently 4:46 p.m. Goal today is 1,050 words. That's great lighting. 1,050 words. I'm still gonna try for it. Also, to make myself feel better about how my calendar is looking with all the red, I made a new one. A new calendar. This one still ends at the end of July, but the end goal is 60,000 instead of 70,000, which, like I said, that's what I think it'll wind up being closer to anyway. It says that I wrote over 30,000 words today. If I just wanted to write evenly every day, I would have to write 731 words per day, which is quite awesome. That's just a better number than 1,000, but I'm still trying to hit 40K by the end of this month. So here we go. I'm gonna go write. now the next day, and I have some revising to do on my charts because I hit my goal yesterday, 1,050 words. I wound up writing 1,348 words last night, which is awesome. That put me at, nope, not 3,000, 33,955 words, but I have to fix my word count chapter chart thing because basically wound up shifting the beginning events of chapter 12 up to chapter 11 and starting chapter 12 later. My handwriting is terrible, I know. 2,736 words for chapter 11. I'm in the middle of chapter 12 now. I left off right in the middle of a scene, like I do. It's a few days later. I failed miserably at recording in the past couple days, but that's okay because I also failed miserably at writing. Currently, I am at 34,867. I wanted to get to 40K before the end of the month, but I don't know how much I would need now, having not met my 1,000 words per day goal thing. It's currently 6:18 p.m. June 27th. If we include today, I would have to write 1,283 words per day to reach 40K. I'm definitely going to try to write more today. I don't know if I will be able to write 1,200 words. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll try. I did write a little bit this morning, but it's included in my total word count at the moment, so I'm not including it with the 1,200. It is now the 29th of June. I am currently at 35,428. The month ends tomorrow. I wanted to be at 40K tomorrow. It's not gonna happen. Yesterday I wrote 1,080 words. No, that can't be. I think in the last 2 days I've written 1,080 words. I wrote 836 words yesterday. My new goal is to just get to 40K as quickly as possible. I think I will end this vlog after the 31st because I am planning on doing Camp Nano vlogs just because why not? It's happening and I want to vlog writing anyway, and I'm planning on finishing my book that month. Don't want this writing vlog to bleed into Camp Nanowrimo. My goals for camp, just finish the book, and I suspect that'll be around 20,000 words, which means currently I'm 60% done with the first draft. I do think that the final product will be longer than that. I think I'm definitely underwriting. I'm gonna write now, and yeah, this part of the story is not coming out the way I thought it would. The pacing is not, or not even just the pacing, but it's just not coming out in a way that I feel has the vibe I'm going for. Also, I have to get my notebook for this. I thought by the end of 40K words, I would have all of this done in the novel. I thought all of these events were only gonna take up 10,000 words and happen subsequently. It's not giant things really. I only have 2 things checked off and I'm already at 35,000. So that's why when I say I don't think this novel is gonna be over 60K, the word think, put that in all caps, emphasize it, italicize it, I don't know at this point. I have no idea what's going on. I'm not dragging any of the plot points. If anything, I feel like I'm moving too quickly. I've felt that through the whole novel. A lot happens in this book, and I feel like it happens very quickly, which on one hand, I like that because I don't like when I read a book and nothing's really happening, but I just totally underestimated how many words this would take. I tried to do the, what's it called? Pomodoro? That method, oh gosh, I've heard Kate Kavanaugh say it so many times, and like it's just in the title of like so many of her streams and videos. The method where the 25-minute sprints, 5-minute break, 25 minutes, but like that doesn't work for me. Okay, I need like 10-minute sprints, and I need to then sleep for 30 minutes and then get back into it. That's an exaggeration, but the 25-minute sprint does not work for me. Too long, too long. For some reason it's hard to like get back into that habit of doing sprints because I don't like to be controlled by anything or anyone, even a clock. We'll see how this goes. Here's another problem I'm having. So like I said, this book has to do with a road trip of sorts, and the places that my characters are visiting I've never been to or driven through, anything of that nature, so I'm having to stop and do research. I'm mostly just like looking up pictures so that I can describe the setting. I feel like it's weird if you're having like a road trip type thing and it still feels like they're floating in space. Like setting should matter, you know, even though it's really just them getting from point A to point B. I was talking to my boyfriend about it and he was like, can you do like a novel equivalent of a movie montage where they're like going from they just end up there? And I'm like, I don't know. I want to, but I don't know if that would actually be good writing. I've been reading Amy and Roger's Epic Detour just to see how Morgan Matson writes a road trip. Granted, the basis for this story is a road trip. It's not my story. Like they just have to get somewhere in my book. I don't know how to put this into words, but basically I started reading this. I'm not very far in, but she's already doing a hell of a better job than I am at describing places. And then I looked at Morgan Matson's author bio, and this, I don't know if this was her first book. I feel like it might have been, but her bio for this book literally says that she is a road trip veteran. Is that what it says? Yeah, a road trip veteran. And so she's driven cross country 3 times, or maybe even more since this book came out. But my point is, like, I wish I had that first person experience to write about these places. They're traveling west is what I will say, okay? But I don't want to say like where they're starting right now. Does that matter? Is that like a spoiler? Like, I don't know what you're allowed to give away and what you should keep secret when you're trying to traditionally publish eventually. Like, I know a lot of people are really secretive about titles and stuff, but then it's like people do pitch wars all the time on Twitter and like they give their title. Like, I don't know, like the only reason I'm kind of being secretive with the working title that I've come up with is because I don't know if I'm supposed to be keeping it a secret. Like, I would say it right now and I wouldn't care if people knew in advance, but I don't know if like, why do people keep that secret? Are we not supposed to say it? Anyway, I'll just say it because you know what, I don't even like it that much, and I hope that if a publisher ever does pick this story up, they think of a better title. Like title reveals and stuff. Like, people do title reveals and people say like, I can't say the title. Like, you know what, I'm not gonna say it. Why am I thinking of this right now? The story's not even finished. 17-minute video clip I just took. No writing, no progress. I'll check in with you later. Hello, so it is the next day and I wanted to hop on and record because I am currently 25 words away from hitting 37,000. It's going to also be the end of chapter 12. The lighting is really bad right now, sorry. It's 8:56 p.m. and yeah, I'm excited. So okay, hello everybody. I just wanted to film an outro really quick because I always forget to do that. I'm gonna end this vlog there. I am about 3,000 words behind what I wanted to be at by the end of this month, but that's not too bad to me. It could be worse. I could have only written 3,000 words. Like, it could be worse. I'm so happy to be out of chapter 12. I finished chapter 12 that chapter was like holding me captive. I swear there was just something, there is something wrong with it, like clearly, because I was going through it really slowly and just was having a really hard time with it. But today is the beginning of Camp Nanowrimo, so if you enjoyed this vlog, I am going to be attempting weekly Camp Nano vlogs. Goal is literally just finishing this manuscript. Like that is my goal. Hopefully I can do that this month. It's July 1st now. So yeah, if you'd like to see that, you can subscribe and watch those. Let me know down below if you are participating in Camp Nano. And also, because I don't want just like back-to-back writing vlogs, like 5 in a row, I am going to be trying to film other videos. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, I mean, thank you. Bye.